Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where it's time to go double or nothing on the Wrestling Revolution. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to our first edition of Lost in the Midcard in 2019 as we quickly approach an amazing 5 years on the podcast. Royal Rumble will mark the fifth anniversary of the show. The fourth annual marquees are coming up around the corner too. We'll dive into those later on this month, but we have a lot to talk about in regards to three letters AEW, and a couple other things too, but mainly AEW. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard, hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way. Typically every Wednesday, but we got a special one here after the holidays. You can also subscribe to us here on YouTube. The links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Also the Twitter at LITMC Podcast, where we also share a lot of the great tweets throughout the wrestling world. So give us a follow there and be prepared to be entertained. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing this evening?
We are in the midst of a revolution, and it's only 3 days into 2019. We said wrestling in 2018 was crazy, but 2019 has already looked at 2018's wrestling and said, "Hold my beer."
Yep, hold.
And it's crazy, man. 2019's already nuts, and we're just barely getting started. This is crazy.
If you followed us on the social media, here between Christmas and New Year's, we made a big announcement. We are now a three-man booth officially. Of course, you heard this guy's voice throughout a lot of 2018, but he is now a permanent part of the LITMC crew. He is on the Twitter at No One Like D. Darryl Bullock. Darryl, officially welcome to the show in the official capacity. How's it going, man?
It's going good. I'm really excited to help you guys out on this Lost in the Midcard podcast and talk some good wrestling in 2019.
What a show to start out with everything that went down. And why don't we just start things off with being the elite over the holidays, because that just makes the most sense for what the top story and what the main thing we're going to talk about today going down. A little Christmas Eve being the elite came out with the Bucks and SCU and their families all together at Matt's house for the holidays. And I love that fire table that Matt has out in the back porch. That thing's pretty sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I want one.
We are in the kitchen cutting the. I can't tell if Kaz doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't look like he was too comfortable with an electric knife and a big old fork, but eventually I think they got the ham cut up and ate. So. The best part, I thought this was funny. I don't know who was this one of Nick's kids or Matt's kids, beating up Scorpio Sky.
It was one of them, I think.
Dude's even doing the leg slap on the kicks already. What?
It's raise him right.
He already knows.
Yep, pretty much.
He already knows how to do the fucking leg slap on the kicks, man. This kid's a natural. Scorpio was doing a toast about how this is basically his best year in professional wrestling, and just being happy to be here, and how thankful he was for everybody to bring him along on this journey. When Matt gets up and it looks a little pissed, I'm kind of wondering what's Matt doing, and He's handing him some more candy. I didn't quite get the candy cane reference, though. Did anybody?
Yes, he said he was just a few years earlier. He was in his name was Harold in a anger management segment with Daniel Bryan and Kane.
Oh, Kane. Okay. And so, for
come on, JB, get with
Ha
So for at least 5 minutes, Matt's standing there watching Scorpio lick the candy cane. A lot of the episode was guys from the Elite kind of sharing their favorite moments. Hangman Page was sitting with his puppy on the couch, and you could see in the Christmas tree his phone with the countdown clock at 4 days. That was kind of funny. Hangman talked about one of his favorite moments was on the show this year was when Cody was being possessed, and they kind of showed some unseen footage from that part. I guess he was doing a extended John Cena "You Can't See Me" for like over and over. He also talked about Marty singing on an earlier episode of Being the Elite. Marty shared some of his favorite moments, including the holding it together at the Joey Ryan funeral, and of course the debut of Arthur and Trevor, which was. I didn't realize that was their debut when Marty was getting ready to take off on his own music career.
Their debut was they were the musical producers for Marty's endeavor, and then they just decided to spin the characters off afterwards.
Matt was talking about one of his favorite episodes was when the New Day were on there when they did a little Street Fighter, and he got one of those 1-up arcade machines. You can get it like at Walmart or Kohl's or whatever. He got his brother one to practice Street Fighter on. Cody talked about some of his favorite moments of the year, including when basically one of the biggest lines when with the Omega and Cody struggle. Bullet Club is fine. That was born on Being the Elite, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's born on Being the Elite. Everything.
That's true. Cody went on to thank everybody for all the support, and he talked about some of the unseen footage of the human centipede that from the Halloween episode, which coincidentally Kenny Omega said was like his favorite moment of the whole year was that because he's into horror movies and he had a lot of fun with that. Kaz with a great Christmas Vacation parody. He was expected a Christmas bonus, and he didn't get it yet. So he basically went all Clark Griswold when CD shows up and says, "Hey, I found this in with some of our 8x10s," and it's the Christmas bonus. And what does Kaz get? Has he got enough money to buy that new swimming pool? No. A 1-year membership to the Honor Club. I fucking lost it when I fucking lost it. Scorpio was excited. He was like, "Yeah, that's a gift that keeps on giving."
I immediately thought about Matt when I saw that.
Yeah, we were talking on the DMs earlier. Like, if Matt was expecting a Christmas bonus and got that, how you'd basically go off the rails there, wouldn't you, Matt?
I would not have been happy. I'd have been happy.
But it was a great Christmas edition of Being the Elite, though. It ended with Kenny Omega talking about his favorite moment with the human centipede and whatnot, and then the brothers kind of saying, "Well, next week's New Year's. There might be something coming up next week, right?" What'd you guys think of? Well, first off, what'd you think of the Kenny said on Kenny's Quest, which was kind of a special thing that they put out on New Year's Eve? Is it because he's leaving? They're not allowing to play this kind of video that they put together, or what do you take of the fact that he apologized that this isn't going to air before the match?
That's my assumption. Like, New Japan no longer wants to play ball because he's on his way out the door.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're not going to do anything cool for you because you're not going to be here to, be beneficial to us after this is done.
Yeah.
They
go ahead.
They
Darryl.
got Jay White anyway.
Yeah. Bullet Club's fine, right?
Yeah.
Bullet Club's dead.
So kind of a Star Wars-like text before the video. Kenny Omega said the following was a special collaboration intended to play live before the Wrestle Kingdom 13 main event, which, I mean, coincidentally is going to be just in a few hours from now as we record on Thursday night. Due to circumstances beyond my control, this will not air during Wrestle Kingdom or on any official NJPW channels. Irregardless, Toby and I hope you all enjoy the video. Thank you. Basically kind of in a Japanese little shop, a video shop, kind of a video rental type of shop, and this kid finds a cartridge of Kenny Omega, Kenny's Quest, and Dad goes, "Wouldn't you want Tanahashi's? He's better." The kid's smarter and says, "No, I want Kenny." And then they buy it from the clerk, which is Kenny Omega. So what'd you guys think of this little thing? A kid goes and plays it. It's kind of a 16-bit kind of a mix between pro wrestling and kind of a Final Fantasy battle. I thought it was really well done. What did you guys think of this thing?
I reminisced when I was 8 years old all over again. Those type of games, especially like it had like the Mike Tyson Punch-Out type of with the big boss and everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was very well done. They definitely should. It's something they should definitely be proud of.
Yeah.
And it's a real disappointment that New Japan chose to not air it after all the work that was put into it to be done and to begin with.
So basically, the kid is playing as Kenny Omega, and Omega basically gets jobbed right away, and he's all disappointed. Oh man, Dad was right. Tanahashi's better. Then the Bucks appear on the screen, but the kid doesn't notice, and so the Bucks super kick the TV until stuff falls off of the TV stand, and the kid sees the message, plays again, and is victorious. I thought it was really well done. It was a really nice little thing. I love the little like Kenny remembered his supporters, and then they kind of flash the Bucks and like 8 or 16-bit and show Cody and Brandy and Pharaoh and Hangman and Villain. I thought that was really cool, and of course Kota Ibushi. Is Kota coming with those guys?
I have no idea what his contract is looking like.
It is possible. That's all I can say for now. It's possible.
And so this all
I
leads.
can see it.
This all leads to basically this is about. Was it about 3:00 Eastern your time when this came out?
Yeah, I believe so.
Midnight Pacific. Was that sound about?
Yeah,
right?
it was 3 a.m. It was 3 a.m. in the morning. I stayed up for this because I knew it was going to be big.
I was already way too hammered, so I was way passed out. So I just waited until.
Good job, JB.
Yeah. Being the Elite, episode 132, New Year's Elite. Small little 8-minute video for this week. But
it was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah, packed a lot of punch. The video starts off with 6 minutes to midnight. Kazarian drinking a little Jack Daniels on the rocks, kicking back with his American Rebel cigars, when all of a sudden he hears some ticking and doesn't know where his phone is. And so he checks on the floor and it takes a nice bump from the coffee table. He sold that coffee table bump really well, don't you think?
Yes, he did.
And then he found a suicide action figure.
Dude, I popped for that so fucking hard.
That was hilarious.
I lost my damn mind when he freaking found the suicide figure underneath the couch.
He finds his phone and sees that the clock is basically ticked and talked, and it's over, and we start being the Elite. CD's on his elliptical. His wife's saying, "Get to bed." He's like, "I need to get back in shape. Scorpio and Kaz got me beat. I need to just give me 5 more minutes." And his clock started ticking. And then we head to Tokyo on New Year's Eve. And I thought this was really well done. Just kind of everybody separated. And they all kind of come from different places, like Cody coming down the elevator, Hangman coming down the escalator. I thought this was really well shot, guys.
No, it was beautifully done. Everything about I thought everything about this setup this week was done perfectly.
While the guys are kind of getting to the meeting point, Scorpio Sky's partying with a couple ladies because he's single, according to his Christmas shirt from last week. His clock is ticked. Nick's walking around. There's fat ass Masa. What did he say? I forget. He said something funny.
Hard Cock Cafe.
Hard Cock Cafe, yes. Cody coming down the elevator. And CD's, we cut back to CD on the escalator as it basically is counting down to the 10 seconds. And then we cut to Cody, the Bucks, and Paige. And they're all excited for the countdown. They count it down from 10 seconds, and nothing happens. They're like, oh, okay, well. So they all went their separate ways. We stare at the Tokyo Dome for a good minute. They all come back and say, wait a minute, I got something. Hey, I got something too. I got something too. And the Bucks and Cody show the nice little Double or Nothing logo, neon logo with some chips. A little D, a little script D there, which Darryl, you think that means something?
I sure do. Kind of looks like a Detroit D.
And then Hangman says, wait a minute, mine says something different, and he shows the All Elite Wrestling logo. Dun, dun, dun.
AEW, AEW, AEW.
How cool was that little... That was worth staying up for, wasn't it?
Look, let me just put it this way. If I had expendable income that I could just throw money willy-nilly and not give a flying fuck, I'd be in Jacksonville this upcoming Tuesday for that press conference. Like, legit 100% serious. If I just had money to just throw away and burn, I'd be down there. That's how hyped I am about all this shit that's going on right now.
Yeah, they're going to be a free rally Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern at TIAA Field where the Jaguars play. That'll reveal additional information. You'll be able to stream it live on the Being the Elite channel on YouTube. I think you can stream it live on the Bucks Twitter account as well. I think I have more on that coming up here as soon as I get to it. But yeah, it's here finally. All Elite Wrestling. We all know it. We all knew it, but it is finally here.
It's happening.
It's happening. Cody Rhodes took to Twitter shortly, actually later that night, and said, "I feel so damn lucky. I believe that more than talent, more than chance, work ethic will guide me where I like to go. To be executive vice president for a new venture and be flanked by Matt and Nick and a few familiar names sharing that position is my dream job. I can't think of a time when so many of wrestling's top free agents all opted out of the road." Usually traveled, and instead went to start something new. I'm excited to see AEW into existence. What's old isn't new. What's new is new. Perception isn't reality. Reality is reality. Fans first. The Bucks. Hangman Page also took to Twitter. See you in Jacksonville. Let's change the world. Matt Jackson saying, thank you for making this decision to do this a no-brainer. We can't do it without you. Hashtag All Elite Wrestling. Matt also joking that we were free agents for all of 12 hours.
Yeah, see, that was the funny thing to me. This news broke maybe like 10 minutes before the Being the Elite video came out from Meltzer, and he's like, Cody signed, but the Bucks haven't signed yet. Well, no shit, Sherlock, because their Ring of Honor deals weren't up yet, so they couldn't fucking sign yet. You stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot. I missed that term.
Uncle Dave.
And Nick Jackson also saying...
Look, I know the Bucks love Uncle Dave and all, but sometimes he just says really stupid things.
Yeah, he can be a slap nut sometimes.
And Nick Jackson also saying, let's change the world. Cody's brother, Dustin Rhodes, Gold Dust, he took to Twitter and said, I want to take the time to say how proud I am of Cody. My brother has everything our father had. He's learned so much about being a wrestler, a businessman, and an entertainer. He will bring it in this huge venture he has created. Best of luck, AEW. Love you, brother. So great words from Dustin in regards to the new venture.
To which Vince immediately said, "How the fuck do we push Goldust so he doesn't leave when his contract's up?"
Yeah. Oh, look! All of a sudden, Zack Ryder's on TV this week. Oh, whoa.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, Anderson and Gallows have been on TV for the last few weeks either. This isn't coincidence.
And all of a sudden, the Revival are getting pushed.
Say yeah.
not surprising. Dave Meltzer says
none of this is a coincidence.
Dave Meltzer says that there will be a women's division. Britt Baker has signed with the promotion. She worked it all in back in September as well.
Oh yeah, dude, the Elite know how hot women's wrestling is right now. They were not going to start this without a women's division.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, the Impact better hope a lot of their talents locked under deals.
Well, two just
left,
so.
I think Impact's locker room's about to get their asses raided in 2019.
Two people left, but I mean, I'll get to that later. But not major names, but two people left. Two
I'm
names.
mainly talking like their women's division and Eli Drake and people like that. They better hope these deals are exclusively locked down, that they can't get out of them, because I think they're going to lose a lot of people.
The pop we're going to get from JV if AEW gets Eli Drake.
Dummy. Yeah.
Let me tell you something, dummy.
See, I knew it wouldn't take much to get him going.
I know.
Are you ready for Eli Drake? Dummy, yeah. All Elite Wrestling sent PW Insider a little press release regarding the rally on Tuesday, January 8th. All Elite Wrestling, the new wrestling promotion headlined by the members of the Elite today, announced plans for a special Double or Nothing event rally in Jacksonville, Florida. The event, which is free and open to the public, will take place Tuesday, January 8th at 5 p.m. Eastern outside TIAA Bank Field in parking lot J near Gate 1, adjacent to the TV compound. That way, if people listening to the podcast are going down there, there's all the details of where they're going to be. The rally is on the heels of unveiling earlier this week of Double or Nothing, the inaugural event under the new All Elite Wrestling banner. Keeping in true The Elite fashion, attendees can expect the unexpected, as this rally will showcase the true spirit of wrestling entrepreneurialism. That's a lot of fucking syllables there, buddy. And feature special guests, inside info, and limited edition merchandise. Fans can also watch the event rally live on the Being the Elite YouTube channel, AE Wrestling on Twitter, the Young Bucks on Facebook, at the Brandy Rhodes on Instagram, and you can interact socially, hashtag AEW. The Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, are right in with me in committing to deliver our promise to change the wrestling landscape in 2019, and Double or Nothing is just a start, said Cody Rhodes on the press release. The time to change the world is now. And actually, this all came from directly from Brandy Runnels, who is Cody's wife, of course, the chief brand officer of AEW. She also had some comments in regards to being named the chief brand officer of AEW. She said on Twitter, here actually this afternoon, that I've dreamt of a life where I could marry my passions, combining my academic past with my entertainment future. I'm so excited to be named chief brand officer of AEW and thrilled to continue to entertain inside and around the ring. 2019 is going to be amazing. Yes, it will be. So we have so much to process here, guys. So much to talk about. Matt and I went on a gift fest last night of possible free agents, because you got the Elite. The Elite is going to obviously be the Elite to kick off All Elite Wrestling. They're going to be on the same side of things, you would assume. So we got to have some antagonists coming in, and Matt, you put out one that's very very big, and one that we already know of that's going to be a part of the company. Maybe he's a backup plan. But Matt, who do you say is your big leader of the group that rises up against the Elite?
I'm not saying that anybody's going to. I'm not saying that that's going to be the storyline. But I'm saying if you want to bring a big name in right off the bat and make it an immediate, impact in the wrestling world, and show everybody that you're serious and you're willing to spend the money to make this work, there's only one guy, and it's CM Punk. There's no way in my mind right now that anybody could tell me with a straight face that Tony Khan has not made a former offer to CM Punk right now about a contract for this company. There's just no way. Like, they'd have to be out of their minds not to reach out to him and sit down and discuss a legitimate contract offer to join this company.
In your own personal opinion, Matt, Punk's transitioning to the commentary booth, do you see that as him, that's his way of staying in MMA, and that makes it more likely that he may try this? Just in your opinion.
I can't ever see him in the octagon again. I mean, he's just he attempted MMA at too late of an age. It takes years, to develop yourself and get on the level of the people that are in the UFC, and he's just that time has unfortunately for him has passed him by. But now he has a chance to freaking reinvigorate his professional wrestling career and not have to be with WWE to do it. And still get paid. Technically, it seems like he could get paid WWE level money for working a hell of a lot less, because let's face it, these guys aren't going to be on the road, 250 to 300 days a year like the WWE roster is. To me, it just seems like a no-brainer. He lost a lot of money in court battling the WWE over the last couple years. If he can make all that money back by, working minimal dates on a brand new pro wrestling company, why the hell not?
Yeah. And
to me, I can't see this not being a match made in heaven. Like, I really can't. I can't imagine this not working.
You mentioned we got a women's division setting up here, and Punk's married to someone, isn't he? There, AJ Lee. That would make waves as well. I mean, you got a former WWE Women's Champion here. I don't know how many times she won the title, but
she was very popular, and arguably is still very popular to this day among the fan base as well. So,
and I said if somehow Punk doesn't formulate right away, and they do what I'd kind of come up with the Elite banding together, and there's another group that's kind of rising up to try to overthrow this thing that they've created. And if CM Punk can't lead it, I think Chris Jericho is more than capable of leading it. Darryl, what do you think about a Jericho or Punk being kind of a leader of a faction that's taking on the Elite?
That'll be very interesting. I mean, that'll spearhead pretty much you starting this company up. If your first event, you have Jericho or Punk, rival the Elite. I mean, that's going to bring out more of the casuals.
So Matt and I had this conversation last night, Darryl. Let's get your take on some of the guys we came up with that could join Punk and or Jericho in this feud. Hey, how about Wade Barrett?
I can see that.
Matt, you said he's interested in getting back into it?
Barrett?
Yeah.
I mean, he still does some work for some UK promotions now, not as like an actual wrestler, but as like an on-air like authority character. I definitely think all Elite Wrestling would be amiss not to make a call to Mr. Bad News and see what it would take to bring him back into the squared circle. That dude was legit.
Yeah, it was.
And he was a perfect example of somebody WWE majorly dropped the ball on, and I think their loss could be their gain.
Yeah, remember his cameo on being the Elite.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I actually forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually brings up a big picture thing. You need to go back and look at Being the Elite and look at all the wrestlers that have appeared
Swagger
on Being the Elite over the last several years. What that this show has ran, they all could be suspects.
Mm-hmm.
This is exciting times, man. It really, really is.
Matt, what is John Morrison's contract status with Impact Wrestling? Do you know?
That's a great freaking question, because
that was the guy I brought up after Wade Barrett was John Morrison. He would be a great fit to be an antagonist.
I mean, he works Lucha Underground and Impact. I can't imagine that means he has an exclusive contract to anybody.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that works.
If he can jump ship or not.
Honestly. So yeah, it's definitely in the realm of possibility.
Darryl, Matt brought up the name of James Storm.
Sorry about your damn luck.
I think that's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer.
Like, I really, really do. I would be blown away if they haven't made the call to James Storm already.
I already know who's a given as well.
Fired over here, man.
Well, you guys pretty much have mentioned this probably already, but another anti-WWE guy that got pretty much screwed over his contract, Mr. Pac.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
I would be shocked.
I think that's going to be like 97% done.
Well,
Yeah.
they wanted him for All In.
But he was still on his deal. What?
No, from my understanding, he wanted to make his return with Dragon Gate.
Oh.
Makes sense.
So that was where he wanted his initial return to happen. So he didn't want to do All In favor of that. But that doesn't mean all these months later that his opinion and attitude has changed.
For some reason, I thought September he was still under the contract.
He was done in August.
August, okay. Of course, then Matt brought up Eli Drake. I got excited. So then I said, well, if they don't quit fucking around with them, Anderson and Gallows, the Revival.
Yeah.
We already mentioned those guys. We brought up Pac, and I immediately said, God damn, I want to see a Pac and Hangman Page match.
Nice.
Matt brought up RVD. He's still active in the independents, isn't he, Matt?
He not as much as he used to be, but like this goes back to the Goldberg discussion that's been rapping on the internet this week.
Yeah.
The internet is extremely divided about this news on Goldberg right now. But you need to understand, you're an upstart company looking for global national attention. Mm-hmm. And to do that, you can't just rely on the cast of being the elite. You need some global megastars that are going to grab people's attentions, grab the television network's attentions of the people that they're going to be looking to get on TV with and say, hey, look, we've got Goldberg, we've got Rob Van Dam. These guys, but look, they might not be with All Elite Wrestling a year from now, but if they're there at the upstart of the promotion to help establish the other people that the average wrestling fan might not know, it's a necessary evil. All the people flipping out about the possibility of Goldberg being there, they're not looking at the big picture of what this company needs to be.
I got a person that's shit. All you got to do is ask, and I think he'll be at All In, and he has that TV appeal already. Stephen Amell.
Oh
yeah, dude. He'll do something with AEW. I don't know if it's going to be in a wrestling capacity.
But he'll do something.
But
just
he'll
to be
he'll be involved. Absolutely, he'll be involved.
We brought up and what Matt was referring to with Goldberg is the fact that Goldberg started following AEW on Twitter, and then everybody lost their shit.
And the Double or Nothing Twitter account followed him back.
Yeah.
AEW's official account has not followed him, but the AEW, the Double or Nothing, the original All In Twitter account has followed Goldberg back.
Now, in this discussion, I brought up to Matt Austin Aries, and I go, "Hey, look, a new bridge for him to burn." But you're not so sure, like guys like him or about Alberto Del Rio, they'll take a chance on right away.
I wouldn't on a brand new upstart promotion. I would not want to take a chance on people that have had bad histories with other promotions. And Aries and Del Rio, no offense to either of those guys, because they're ultra talented, charismatic performers, but do you really want to be dealing with that kind of shit right when you're getting your company off the ground? If I'm them, I don't want to deal with their baggage. I don't think that they're worth the headache right now. Yeah. But I could be wrong. But
I could see Aries doing maybe a show or two, nothing exclusive. I could see him popping in here and there, if anything.
It just all depends on his relationship with those guys. I mean, those guys obviously know business-wise that he's a pain in the ass to work with, but maybe this is different because, maybe there's a more personal level with their relationship. It's hard telling. It's something we don't know. So,
I wonder what's Pentagon and Ray Phoenix's contracts looking like with Impact.
To me, whenever they're up, they're there. I think.
Yeah. I don't. I think they're up soon. I think they're up.
You
soon.
also need to keep in mind they're working for 3 promotions right now.
Right. So I don't think
They're working for
ML.
They're working for MLW. They're working for Impact, and they're working for Lucha Underground.
And
And as far as my understanding, they have some kind of contract with MLW. I don't know the details of it, and I don't really understand how MLW does their contracts. But if any of those 3 promotions has Phoenix and Pentagon under a deal right now, I know for a fact that it's MLW.
Yeah, and the shitty thing is with Lucha Underground, with as much as they tape ahead, you got to wait till those tapings have all aired in order for them to be free and clear. So we had to wait for Ricochet for so damn long.
What is the guy? Well, I can't think of his damn name. What's the guy we talked about on past episodes that was feuding with Eddie Edwards?
Moose?
No. That long feud that Eddie Edwards had that we just wanted to get rid of.
Oh, you're talking Sammy Callahan.
Yes. Yeah. I think from my
he's also working on all 3. He's working all 3.
Right. That's what I was about to say. I think he has the same type of contract as Rey Fenix and Pentagon.
That would not surprise me. I really don't want Sammy Callahan in AEW. I really don't.
I like Sammy Callahan.
I like Sammy.
Yeah.
I'm in the minority. I am not a Sammy Callahan fan. I would prefer him not to be in AEW, but if they bring him in, I get the logic behind bringing him in if they choose to do so. Let me put it that way.
They would. I just think that in traditional wrestling, like, you gotta have your heels, you gotta have your faces.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even before the Eddie Edwards incident, though, I enjoyed Sammy Callahan, what he did in the ring with Lucha Underground, what he did, his short time in NXT. I enjoyed him as a wrestler, and then of course, he kind of just did. He did, flip it the other way around. Nia Jax did exactly what he did, kind of took the accidental thing and kind of ran with it as a heel.
I ran with it.
Yeah. I brought up a couple of names to Matt, a couple of Joeys, Joey Janela and Joey Ryan.
To me, they're both locks.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you think WWE's coming hard at Janela though?
No.
I think they will make him an offer, but I don't think they will come at him hard.
And I don't think Joey Ryan. He said it before. He has zero interest in going to the WWE. I think that would also be one of the few people they wouldn't even extend an offer to. Yeah,
their views and their ideology on what pro wrestling should be just doesn't mix with Joey Ryan and WWE. I don't see that even being a slight possibility.
So let's go to the women. We talked about AJ. Britt Baker's already there. Obviously, you can fill out the roster.
There's a lot of women out there right now. The women on the indie roster right now is deeper than the men, in my opinion. There are a lot of talented women out there that they can get.
You know who I want to see them get?
Who's that?
I want to see them get Tessa.
Yeah.
She's doing everything right now.
I know.
She's the centerpiece of that new WoW Women of Wrestling that's starting on Access later this month. She's the Impact Women's Champion. If she's not under any type of an exclusive deal, you damn well know that she's already been talked to.
How the hell did Triple H not lock her down?
He's an idiot. I don't think she wanted to go.
I still don't understand why she's not in WWE.
Yeah, I don't know either. Matt, what women in the indies would you like, before we go to like the past WWE superstars that we talked about last night, who in the indies would you like to see show up in AEW?
Oh my God, don't put me on the spot like this, JB. There's way too many.
Do it.
Well, just give us some that come to mind.
Y'all killing me right now. Look, you want me to put together a list? Give me a few minutes. You can talk about the other people that you wanted to talk about, and I can, name some people that should easily be signed if they're serious about really creating a deep division here.
We were talking about Trish and Lita, probably are no's. They're pretty much WWE locks. What do you think about like a Michelle McCool, a Kelly Kelly, a Tori Wilson?
Michelle McCool, no, not with
she's not. Her husband is. Exactly. She's not going anywhere with the fact that she's married to the Undertaker. She's not going to do that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be cool. That household would be so divided.
What about some of the recent names? And I don't even know if they're still interested in wrestling or not. But what about Eva Marie and Summer Rae?
I don't see Eva Marie, but I definitely see Summer Rae.
Yeah, I can see Summer Rae. I wouldn't see Eva Marie. She's way
done.
Yeah, she's done wrestling. Just period.
Yeah, I thought Summer Rae might be done too, but Matt thinks that she's not.
No, I don't think so either.
She loves wrestling too much. I think if she got the offer, I think she'd be there. I really do.
Darryl, you know much about status of people in New Japan? You know anybody in New Japan that might be up soon?
I will know more after Wrestle Kingdom, just to see where everything goes. Yeah. Like, we already know what the Elite's going to do, but I'm very interested to see what happens with the Bullet Club, the new Bullet Club faction. I'm interested in that, and I'm interested in what happens with Suzuki-gun.
And who's not to say that AEW isn't going to be working together with New Japan when this is all said and done?
I don't see that. Like I said, I will wait to see how they do them, unlike what Ring of Honor did.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it's possible.
That's interesting.
Yeah. We'll know more. I'll be able to speak more on it next episode, and I can go from there.
And, of course, Wrestle Kingdom is set to kick off here in literally 4 or 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. Some sad news to start the headlines this week. We learned the passing of Mean Gene Okerlund yesterday on Wednesday morning. Of course, Mean Gene, synonymous with the rise of the WWE in the 80s, as one of the best backstage interviewers in the history of pro wrestling. Probably never going to be topped again. He passed away at 76 years old. Word was he had some kidney failures and a couple of procedures done, and then took a fall, and that's where things kind of took off. Darryl, what is thinking back to Mean Gene? So many memorable moments in the '80s. What was kind of your favorite?
I watched. It's a couple. I have a couple favorites, but I specifically will say Ric Flair winning the Royal Rumble. And he said, "This is the greatest moment of my life."
With a tear,
yeah,
in my eye. Woo.
But I will say this: we're all around the same age and the same pretty much generation. And I think I can speak for all three of us and say, when we first started watching wrestling, there was, your Hulk Hogan, there was your Macho Man, there was your Ultimate Warrior, but there was also Mean Gene. Mean Gene was in a league of his own.
Yeah, he was.
And you could always look forward to, backstage interview with Mean Gene and whoever it was, and he flowed so well. It didn't matter who there was. It doesn't matter if the Ultimate Warrior was talking about the spaceship, if Macho Man was talking about 180 degrees, if Hulk Hogan was talking about say your prayers. Mean Gene could just flow with the rest of them, and he will be missed.
Mean Gene got his start in the AWA in 1970. He was originally a disc jockey in Omaha, Nebraska, actually, for Coil. Then he would go to Minneapolis to work for a local television station. Left the radio industry in 70, headed to wrestling, and worked with AWA until 84 when he headed to the WWE. And he would work there all the way up until 1993 when he headed to WCW until their fall. And then basically would make many appearances with the WWE between over the next 18 years there. His last appearance was on January 22nd of last year when he, at the 25th anniversary of Raw, he interviewed AJ Styles. And he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class in 2006. Matt, you have anything you'd like to say about your thoughts on Mean Gene?
In my opinion, greatest interviewer of all time. Mm-hmm. He was everything, and he worked with everybody from you name him, he worked with them, whether it be WWE or WCW or whatever. He's worked with them all, and that was back in the day where the wrestlers weren't handed a stupid script and told to memorize lines and know what to say. It was just Mean Gene and whoever the wrestler was playing off of each other, making shit work, and you believed it, and it was entertaining and it was fun. And I think WWE, if they're going back and they're looking at footage right now for to put together like a network collection or whatnot, they could learn a lot. Even from back then to how to fix their their interviewing process in 2018.
Hogan, Warrior, Savage, him making sense of what Warrior said and trying to go back and forth with Warrior. I mean, that just shows how good of a man interviewer he was. And then who can forget SummerSlam '89 when the set fell and fuck it. And of course, Legends House. Was it Legends House where he started saying "Holy balls"?
Holy balls!
Oh, Legends House was fun. I think they need to do another one of those. I thought that was always fun.
I think that was him and Bobby the Brain were probably two of my saddest ones, the saddest ones I saw go.
Yeah, mine's probably Dusty, just then followed by Bobby. I had more ties with NWA back then, but I still I watched WWE Superstars when I was a kid, so I definitely grew up with Mean Gene as well.
Gene Mean, as Chris Jericho would say in the Nitro era.
Or who could forget Gene telling Robert Downey Jr. to put that cigarette out.
You guys have to go on Twitter to the Iron Sheik's Twitter account, and he posted a video of Mean Gene just busting out laughing live during the interview while Iron Sheik was talking. It's hilarious.
Old Sheiky. So hopefully WWE Network puts out a collection of interviews. That would be fantastic to go back and watch. For of course the Elite closing the book on New Japan Pro Wrestling. Pro Wrestling Tees will be discontinuing the Elite Bullet Club shirts on January 7th, which is this coming Monday. So this is your last chance to pick up some of that iconic Bullet Club merch from
and also if you're planning on buying from Pro Wrestling Tees this weekend from now until the 7th, if you use the code Wrestle Kingdom, you get 20% off your entire order. I will be buying my All Elite Wrestling T-shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees this weekend because
yes, sir.
I got to support my boys.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna wait for the press conference, but when Pro Wrestling Tees said put out that 20% offer in my inbox, I'm like, you got me.
Yep.
You got me. I'm ordering the shirt. I got to do it.
You get it for free. You're gonna be working there in 2 years anyway.
You got the tater.
I wish I was working there. I give my right arm to work for All Elite Wrestling, and that's on the record right here on the podcast, man. I would absolute dream job.
So you can get yourself All Elite logo shirt, $24.99. Double or Nothing logo shirt, $24.99. You can also get both of those in a hat for $24.99. You can get both of those in a hoodie. The zip hoodie for AEW logo, $50, and the Double or Nothing pullover hoodie is $40. They also have a logo $9.50 flat bill with the AEW logo that is $27, and that is before your 20% off. So go, because I'm going to get myself an AEW shirt for damn sure. I get paid tomorrow, so.
Yeah, for Pro Wrestling Tees only does sales like maybe 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
So when they're running that deal, you got to take advantage. And 20% off the first ever All Elite Wrestling T-shirt sounds like a good deal to me, man. I'm looking forward to adding that to my wrestling collection. And I have not worn a wrestling promotion logos T-shirt in a very long time. So this is a big statement for me to be donning that. I don't have a strictly NXT shirt, I don't have a strictly WWE shirt. I don't have a strictly Ring of Honor shirt. All my stuff is like wrestler, related. It's not strictly that. I think my last one I bought of one of those was like for TNA back in like 05.
Yeah.
Like when I was like I was diehard, TNA wrestling fan back in 05 when they were, firing all cylinders, and I wanted to support that company, any way I could. And I'm getting that, man, I get the chills and stuff just thinking about what AEW might mean to the wrestling industry this year, and with the money they have behind it, unlike every other promotion that's tried to start up in the last up 10 million years. I'm excited, man. And when they get TV, oh boy, when they get TV, shit's gonna get real, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the TV. The obvious front runner is WGN right now, just for the sole fact that they had that they advertised 0 hour.
There's a lot of other information out there right now. Access was originally mentioned in this about this promotion when they first started talking about this a few months ago, and also, if you believe Raja, of the guy who used to be a really big wrestling news guy back in the day, not so you don't hear about him a whole lot anymore, but he is also the guy that first talked about Goldberg well before these Twitter accounts started following each other, has said that that AEW is speaking with Time Warner Cable. And that they might end up on TNT or TBS. So
that will really piss Vince off.
You think?
That'll work. Nothing else comes on there but
Pro
March
Wrestling
Madness.
back on TNT? Oh boy.
The days of thunder.
God.
It could be. I'm telling you guys, we are entering into some really crazy wrestling territory in 2019. Like, as much as we thought 2018 was crazy, 2019's changing the game, and we're only 3 days in.
I guess we really didn't put a bow on AEW. I mean, is there anything that comes to mind? We just talked about TV. We talked about the women. We talked about people potentially jumping ship.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to be jumping ship if this becomes successful. Sorry, Dan.
No, you're good. You good, brother. What happens with the Hot Topic deal?
I think they have one with. I bet they already have one in place with the Bucks. Because the
Hot Topic deal is with the Bucks and Pro Wrestling Tees.
Is it? You think the New Japan stuff is tied to Pro Wrestling Tees?
I do, and I think New Japan's about to lose their foothold on Hot Topic now if they're no longer willing to work with AEW.
Yeah, because the Bucks own the Elite brand, and Hot Topic is selling the Elite brand. So
yeah, as far as I'm understanding, this deal is nothing really to do with New Japan. This really has to do with the Bucks, Pro Wrestling Tees, and Hot Topic, and I think New Japan would be very well versed to play nicely with AEW in 2019, even if it means cutting ties with another honorable promotion before 2019 is over.
The Honor of Rings?
Honor of Rings.
The Honor of Rings.
Yeah, it's interesting. But, look at what they did with Omega, with that video. They're not allowing him to play that, so...
I still ask the question.
Could just be, look. If you want to play devil's advocate, maybe there's time constraints on the show. Maybe it was a very long video. Maybe they just didn't have time. Maybe they just didn't have time to fit that into the show right before a main event when already the show's running until for us viewers 7 or 8 a.m. in the morning.
Sun coming up, yeah.
So maybe we're all reading way too much into it. Maybe the Elite and AEW are going to work together, whereas the AEW will not work with Ring of Honor. Maybe they're going to work with New Japan, and it's totally in the realm of possibility. Everything's on the table in 2019, man. Everything's on the table.
Before TV, which probably won't happen till fall at the earliest. What do we get? Outside of Double or Nothing, what do we get from these guys? Do we get? Do they stream event? Do they film events and put them on Being the Elite? What do you see? What do you see that they do before the TV deal drops?
I personally see Double or Nothing. What was the other what was the other trademark that they had for another show?
Tuesday Night Dynamite.
No, not that. It was something else. It was more so along the lines of like a pay-per-view or whatnot. I can't think of the name of it, but
Wasn't like All Out or something like that.
All Out.
Yes, something like that. You have that. I would not be surprised if they, like you said, Starcast, something like that, or just go on the road for a little bit. You know, maybe once a month or something like that, just to kickstart it. So that way, you know, once the fall comes, you have a little bit of content to draw people into the regular Tuesday night show.
Do you think Being the Elite evolves into the storyline catalyst for this promotion in its infancy?
I mean, it has.
It already is.
But do you think it even expands more than just 15 minutes a week?
It's a possibility. I could see that. I could honestly see maybe, it expand to maybe until they get their TV deal, maybe, show a match or something. You never know. There's endless possibilities.
Yeah. And look, let's call it like it is. Like a lot of these things, we're just guessing right now. For all we know, they might already have a TV deal locked in.
Yeah, it could
or they might already have a deal in place that they just need to sign the papers and make the official announcement. But also at the same token, just because you have a TV deal doesn't mean you need to rush into things right now.
Not at all.
The smartest thing Tony Khan and the Elite can do in 2019 is to take this slow. Do not just explode with everything at once and leave yourself empty. You have to build this slowly, and slowly will be the way that this promotion is built properly in the months and years to come. So I really hope they don't. I really hope they don't rush. I hope we don't get weekly TV from these guys until fall of this year. Mm-hmm. Build it right, build it smart, and and the demand will be there. I think there's nothing but positive things. I feel like we haven't had a wrestling owner with this kind of money that actually I feel understands the business and knows what he's talking about than Tony Khan in a really long time.
Yeah,
he's got all the money to play with, and he is a lifelong wrestling fan. He understands this business. And he's smart. He knows what he's doing. I think we have a winning formula on our hands, guys. If you go back to the Raja report, the first initial spending of what Tony Khan is putting into All Elite Wrestling is $100 million. That is a lot of money right off the bat.
That's chump change for him.
It might be, but still, to start a pro wrestling promotion, that's a lot of money right off the bat.
Yeah.
So this is exciting times, guys. It really, really is. And I'm telling you right now, if the three of us are not at Double or Nothing, I'm going to be severely disappointed.
Yeah. Hopefully it's in the Midwest so we can all get together and act fools.
I really hope it's
Double
not
or
in
Nothing.
Cali. I really hope it's not in Cali.
I doubt it, dude. I really doubt it. Like
I'd say Chicago's a lock. I would be going to Chicago if it was in Chicago.
Only reason I wouldn't say, if Chicago was there, I would go. But I don't think they're going to do Chicago because it's been done already.
Yeah.
If anything, I will say New York, Detroit, maybe Chicago.
I think they should do Philly.
Don't tell me that.
If I were to pick a wrestling town,
don't tease me, bro.
You've already done Chicago. To me, it would come down to New York or Philadelphia. That's where I would go.
I can't see any venues in Philly that could hold that capacity unless you actually do Wells Fargo Center.
What about that venue that Impact ran a few years back for a pay-per-view on some college campus or whatever? It sat a decent amount of people as far as
you could do
Pitts Arena.
Maybe I don't know. Like a lot of the arenas on the outskirts of Philly. if it's not directly
Or
in
Villanova.
Philly.
Well, who's in Philly? Villanova? That's in Philly.
Villanova and Temple, but Villanova plays at Wells Fargo.
I think they could fill Wells Fargo.
No, I'm not ruling it out at all. That'd be actually awesome. I mean, is Wells Fargo willing to do business with them, although they already do business with WWE? That's the question.
That is the $1 million question. Or maybe it's the $100 million question.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony Khan has to throw some money at him. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we're going to know a lot more on Tuesday, and that is our next record date. So once we know more from the...
How convenient is that?
Yeah.
Okay. We will record our next show right after SmackDown Live goes off the air next Tuesday for your hearing consumption on Wednesday. So we will follow up with anything new that we learn from the press conference there that we will be tuning into for sure. I'm off work that day, so I will already be home at 4 o'clock my time and ready to be firing up the YouTube to see this in action and see how many people come out and support it. I bet there's going to be a lot of people coming in there.
I just want to say that I would give absolutely everything to have the Elite buy some front row SmackDown Live tickets on StubHub and show up at that SmackDown taping that night and just sit there in the front row. Like not jump on the chair, make an ass out of yourself like Enzo, but literally just sit there with your ticket and watch the freaking show.
You know, Vince will get them escorted out quickly.
But how would he have any right to? That's what I'm saying. If they're not doing anything, and they're literally just sitting there watching the show,
Vince will just make sure they're not on camera at any time. He has
no legal right to kick them out. No, I'm talking. They get the seats camera side.
Oh,
Whew.
Yeah, and just sit there for the whole show.
What time is that? Is that press conference?
That rally is from 5 to 7 p.m. and SmackDown starts at 8.
What did they say? You got to pass the pep rally to get to SmackDown.
And that arena is literally like a block away from the Jaguar Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Like a block.
God.
Like you could throw snow and probably get there.
We're gonna have something to talk about Tuesday, aren't we?
I'm just saying that's what I would do. If I were the Elite, that's what I would do. I would get the tickets and I would sit ringside for SmackDown. And I wouldn't show up during 205 Live. Like I would show up right around 8 o'clock just so they can't prepare for us to be there. Like I would show up right when they're going live. I would enter and take our seats.
You better send a little to Matt and Nick and go, hey, I got an idea for you guys.
I'm sure they're smart enough that they wish to do it. They've already figured it out.
While we were gone for Christmas, a big news happened on Raw and SmackDown. A couple of big things happened. Rusev Day, on Rusev's birthday and Christmas Day, Rusev became United States champion. That was a shocker, wasn't it, guys?
Sure was. We didn't even expect. I didn't expect none of that.
Speaking of a guy and wife who might not be totally happy with their place in WWE right now.
Yeah, I mean,
all of a sudden we put a championship on this guy.
That guy should be.
How ironic is it that WWE is trying to smarten up now that AEW is coming out?
Yep. Oh, we're listening to the fans now. Yeah.
Look, that's what I love about competition.
Oh yeah.
It forces WWE into doing things that they normally and other times would not do.
So pressure burst pipes.
You mentioned TBS TNT. Holy fuck! I hope WGN.
That's what Raja's saying, that they're having discussions with Time Warner for TNT and TBS.
Nothing else comes on those channels, so I mean, why not?
WGN would be cool and all, but I mean, just the fact that it's the old home of WCW. Look out. The other big news that came out of those two taped episodes was the fact that Vince McMahon dressed up as Santa Claus and out of the blue said women's tag team championships are coming in 2019. We knew that it was coming soon, but did you expect Vince as Santa Claus to say it on the Christmas Eve edition of Monday Night Raw?
No, and it was also decided upon and added into the show so late that the commentary track was already taped for the show, and they didn't even mention it. So, I mean, that shows you how much of a last-second decision it was for them to even do that. You know, it really shows you that WWE's just flying by the seat of their pants right now. They're not really sure what they're doing.
Not at all. I wonder. Honestly, it leads me to wonder, like, who is in creative that's actually, like, who's actually in creative right now, just writing this shit or just helping out? Or is it just Vince on the fly saying, okay, we're going to do this at the last minute?
I think a lot of it's just Vince.
Yeah,
I really do.
those types of decisions have to probably be Vince given the green light. Obviously, they're talked about, and creative talks about it, but the green light, something on TV, that's all Vince right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H has and Steph has a bigger hand in it.
There were tag team championships for the women in 87 and 88, very briefly. The Jumping Bomb Angels, a couple of some Japanese tag teams, the Glamorous Girls, Judy Martin and Leilani Kai. They were all in the kind of the tag division in 87 and 88. Obviously, we know Bayley and Sasha Banks are front runners for the first ever new edition of these women's tag championships. The Iconics, I think, would be definitely deserving. I think Trish and Lita could have a run if they do a tournament. They could have Trish and Lita maybe even the finals, and where they put over the winners. Outside of who I mentioned, Matt, anybody else that stands out to you who would make a good first-time women's tag champ?
To me, the writing's on the wall that it's going to be Sasha and Bayley.
Do you think it's too obvious now, though?
I don't.
Especially with all that they talked.
I think they've been building these two up for a very long time to be a tag team for this specific reason. I do think they'll be the inaugural champions. There's easily a bunch of heel tag teams they can immediately feud with right off the bat. You got Jax and Tamina. You have the Iconics. You have Mandy and Sonya Deville.
Yep.
There's plenty of immediate opponents for Sasha and Bayley to work with.
Bliss and Mickey
They absolutely make the most sense of being the inaugural women's tag team champions, and I think they deserve it.
Yeah,
because they've been fed a lot of crap.
Yeah.
In 2018 and had to sit on the back burner for so many of the other women when those two are so freaking talented and they just haven't been given their due. I think the least WWE can do is put the women's tag team titles on those two first.
I just had some second thoughts just because of how much they pushed that on the New Year's Eve episode of Raw this week. It just seemed like they were over pushing it that this would be the team to win it. So then
they had to. It was the only real. Also, I didn't even mention the Riot Squad. There's 4 heel teams for Sasha and Bayley to immediately work with once they win the titles.
Random thought. You ready?
I'm all about random thoughts, baby. That's what we do here.
All right. So we all 3 of us have our fixation with what needs to happen at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Ronda loses to Becky.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, oh no, absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, in the spirit of you saying plenty of heel tag teams, not too many face tag teams.
Exactly. That's why a face tag team winning first makes the most sense.
Right. So, but you got to throw another one in the mix somewhere.
But
later
you
on,
could have Natty and Ronda. You could have Natty and Ronda. I know everybody. I know everybody and their dog thinks Natty's turning heel.
I don't.
It hasn't happened
yet. That was the original plan until Neidhart died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I can see Ronda and Natty.
Yeah.
I can see them winning it, but I don't see them winning it first.
No, not inaugural, but like I said, if you do the inaugural, you do it around Mania. So that way you start the tag team title from there.
Yeah.
Then
I think it's going to be Sasha and Bayley against Trish and Lita at WrestleMania in the finals. That's what I think it's going to be.
See that.
Yeah, if they're doing a tournament, yeah, and plus you can throw teams together. You can throw. Shit, I just had somebody in mind, but I completely forgot. But I mean, you could throw teams together.
They've already started to do that. You notice that Lana and Naomi are working together a lot on house shows now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very clear that those two are going to be paired up when this division happens. They're starting to put people together. This is why Nia and Tamina got placed together randomly for no fucking reason at all. They got placed together because they knew this tag team division was coming, and they wanted a beefy tag team in the women's division, and that's what they are.
Think about it too. Who else is coming? Probably latter 2019, early 2020. Who's coming? Who might be coming up?
You have the Horsewoman coming up.
Yep. There you go.
You could even have Shayna and Ronda tagging.
Shayna and Ronda. You could do Marina. Marina and I can't think of her.
Jessamine.
Jessamine. I mean, it's so many possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I fully agree. I just thought they were overselling Bayley and Sasha, but I fully agree. They should be the first ever championships holders, and I think the first team to take it from them should be the Iconics. They should be the first team to defeat Bayley and Sasha.
Yeah,
they've got a lot of damage control to do to the Iconics before I can take them in that role right now. But luckily, a tag team division is just a thing that might help rehab their image, because they've been hurt really bad this year. Yeah, they have deserved so much better than what they've gotten.
Well, you know how Vince does his NXT talent. Yeah. Fucking idiot.
But I mean, granted, they aren't winning, but they are getting a lot of mic time, which still you're relevant. You're on TV a lot. You're getting the mic every time you come on TV. You're not just showing up in the ring in the middle of your entrance, when they come back from commercial. These girls are still getting a lot of mic time, which is just as valuable as a win on Raw and SmackDown these days. So, we're going to figure out who Buddy Murphy's opponent for the Cruiserweight Championship will be at the Royal Rumble. Drake Maverick announced there will be qualifying matches to determine his opponent in a fatal four-way match. So there'll be a fatal four-way match in Arizona. Kalisto took on Leo Rush, and Gulak faced Tozawa tonight. I did not see the results of that, or not tonight, earlier this week on 205 Live. Matt, you have the results there between those two guys?
I
did not
think I think it's Tozawa and Kalisto won.
Okay. And then next week's 205 Live, Cedric Alexander will face Hideo Itami, and then that'll complete the Fatal 4-Way, which I have officially got tickets for TakeOver, got tickets for Rumble. We still have to get tickets for Raw, but I'm going to go to all three of those things. Very excited, and just got my flight locked in for tonight as well to go down there at the end of the month. So I'm very excited to be able to take part in my first ever Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
Enjoy yourself, dude. You're gonna have a ball.
As tradition on the day after Christmas, WWE does a show at MSG, and once again the women make history again as they become, for the very first time ever in a WWE event, the women main evented when Nia Jax took on Ronda Rousey. So very cool moment to see with all of the people, all the women, all the face women, Natalya, Bayley, Sasha, and Ember Moon in the ring with Ronda deposed at the end of the show at MSG. Very cool moment for the women there. Can you imagine the outrage if Becky and Ronda doesn't close Mania now?
Yeah.
It's going to be a shit show. They have to close Mania.
Yes, it's almost a given. And if you're supposed to be listening to the fans, that's what you're going to give them.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it anymore now. It has to happen. Once again, making your $9.99 go further, WWE has added some more classic Mid-South wrestling to the WWE Network. You can take a look at Mid-South's New Year's Eve from 1985. Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer took on Butch Reed in a dog collar match. Also, some wrestlers on that card include Rick Steiner, who was back then billed as Rob Richtensteiner. Rob Ricksteiner. That's a mouthful. Terry Taylor on the card. Jake the Snake Roberts. Jim Duggan. Dirty Dick Slater. Ted DiBiase. All part of that classic Mid-South card in 1985. So pretty cool to see that they added that. To no surprise to anyone here on Lost in the Midcard, Hiroshi Tanahashi has signed a new deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling because he will be their IWGP Heavyweight Champion in about 8 hours, correct?
Really?
Spoiler alert!
Jeez.
Meh.
How shocked are you that Tanahashi just signed a new deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling? There was a little bit of rumblings that Beer City Bruiser might be being courted by NXT, but In the end, Matt Whitechester, a.k.a. the Beer City Bruiser, has signed a new deal with Ring of Honor, so he is going to work with ROH in 2019.
Dude had a hell of a match with Silas at the ECW arena.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I figure he's not going anywhere. He's one of their best trainers at the dojo.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Off TV since August, Bray Wyatt returned to the ring in a surprise return in Columbus, Ohio at a WWE live event. He defeated Baron Corbin in a no DQ match to open up their holiday touring on December 27th. So expect Wyatt possibly to be back on TV very soon. And apparently he'll still be a babyface. So if he's beating up guys like Baron Corbin. Some podcasting news. Steve Austin has mentioned he's going to go on hiatus for a while. He's going to recharge and reset, so they're going to be replaying old episodes of the Steve Austin Show until further notice. On the latest edition of Edge and Christian's podcast, they're joined by the writers of their WWE Network show to discuss behind-the-scenes details of Season 2, so that'll be a fun one to listen to. I think that one actually came out this past Friday, so that's already out there if you want to check that out. Of course, we all love the Edge and Christian show on the WWE Network, so it'll be pretty cool to hear them talk to the guys that helped create it. And Chris Jericho is going to have a tribute to Eddie Guerrero on the last Talk is Jericho podcast. And he recorded this a few months ago with guys like Diamond Dallas Page, Conan Rey Mysterio, to talk about the legendary Eddie Guerrero. And well, the man's at it again. WWE counted.
You don't say.
WWE counted down the 10 best moments of Monday Night Raw this year, and at number 1, the man comes around. A bloody Becky Lynch laying out Ronnie with a steel chair was WWE's number 1 Raw moment. And Becky says, so WWE's number 1 moment from Raw 2018 is when the man from SmackDown came around for 10 minutes and destroyed their champion. Give me all the titles, especially yours, Ronnie. And it is official. One of the most colorful guys on the NXT kickoff show, Pat McAfee, he has signed a deal with the WWE, a multi-year deal. I'm real happy. I think the guy's funny as hell. I enjoy him on the kickoff shows, so I'm pretty happy that they signed him to a deal because he's just a big fan. He's like Sam Roberts. He's a big fan.
He's alright.
And the man's at it, still at it. Sports Illustrated counted down the top women's wrestlers of 2018, and on their thing. They said from Jordan Grace to Ronda Rousey to Becky Lynch, Justin Barrasso counts down the top women's wrestlers, and the man said, line up all the other dopes on that list, I'll slap the heads off them all. I don't even have it in front of me, but the man also put Corey Graves in his place this week, which was fucking hilarious.
Several times.
Somebody suggested that did somebody suggest that he does like a love angle or something with Becky?
No, it wasn't Becky, and he said something about I can't wait.
That she could need it or she could use it or something.
Yeah, and Corey was like, I'm all about it. And the man said, that was good. Ratings for this week, Impact Wrestling did their best ofs the last couple weeks. And those best ofs actually were getting the same amount of ratings as their regular shows, so that's something. Monday Night Raw for this week, still under 2 million, down to it went up, but of course Christmas Eve's Raw was really low, but I mean that's expected with the holidays and a tape show. The New Year's Eve edition up a hair, 1.985 million. Of course that's New Year's Eve too, so I mean, you know, not expecting a lot of people at home. Well, those were taped too, weren't they?
Yes.
SmackDown Live's New Year's Day show went up a little bit, up to 2.09 million, up a couple hundred thousand from the Christmas edition. Yeah, you know, we're on SmackDown toiling those low numbers. being the Elite gets 500,000 views on YouTube, you know. Vince, I think Vince is waking up a little too late on this here.
It's a possibility.
It's never too late, but he's definitely behind the 8 ball at this point.
I have a random thought again.
Andy lost it.
Who just lost the title to Rusev?
Nakamura.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've definitely thought about that. I know his deal is up at some point this year.
It's up around the same time as Gallows and Anderson and AJ.
Oh, AJ's deal's up in April.
I think Gallows and Anderson is up in September.
Yeah, I know their deal's up in the fall at some point.
So I want to say his is up like shortly after AJ's, or around that time.
I mean, at least with Nakamura, they booked him in the main event for a good portion of it, and he's held the U.S. title for a good reign. And I mean, honestly, he should have beat AJ for the title when he turned heel, but that never happened. But at the same time, he was in the main event picture. I mean, it's not like he's being booked terribly. He's not used as much as we'd like him to be. He doesn't wrestle every week. Maybe that's his request too. Who knows? But it's not like he's being used terribly compared to some others on the roster.
But does that mean somebody else from Monday Night Raw, who was also in Japan as well, would be able to come over, be interested?
What are you getting at?
Yep, what are you getting at?
Well, who else? Think about it. Who else on Monday Night Raw is being used, quote unquote, here's the pun, all intended, lost in the mid-card, former Bullet Club member as well?
Finn Balor.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to know what Finn Balor's contract
you gotta
status is,
understand,
because I honestly don't know.
My brain is just like going nonstop of who they might sign. Like at any moment, I'm going to think of somebody.
We're in a crazy time, guys.
My gut
really crazy.
We are. My gut feeling is I don't think Balor would leave. I could see Nakamura leaving, but I don't. My gut feeling is I think Balor would stay with WWE. I think AJ is going to stay with WWE, but he will end his career somewhere else.
At AWE.
As long as it's there. Let's hope it is. But I don't know. I just have this feeling that Balor isn't going to leave. Though he
might not.
He may.
There's going to be some people extremely loyal to WWE that, even if they're unhappy there, are afraid to make that jump.
Well, and on top of that, you got that
chance
core
on themselves and to see what happens.
On top of that, you've got that core of the leaders of the new school. A couple of them are gone, but you still have that core of Balor, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. Mm-hmm. And Kevin ain't going anywhere.
I know Kevin and Sami definitely ain't going nowhere if Kevin ain't going nowhere.
And I think Finn's going to stick with those guys.
I wouldn't be so sure of that.
I'm not sure about that, dude.
I think I think he will. Oh man, this will get Matt to buy an Impact Wrestling pay-per-view on Fight.
Oh God.
I doubt it.
If you buy the Homecoming pay-per-view on Fight, you get a 2019 Impact Wrestling calendar.
Whatever.
Oh my God.
Darryl has just bought the pay-per-view.
I'm so enthusiastic.
Oh boy. Yeah. 12 months of Moose, that's what that's going to be.
Wow.
Shots fired.
Some MLW news. Court Bauer has announced that the Hart Foundation continuing to get stronger. Teddy Hart is officially signed with the company now, and also announced earlier in the day here today, Davey Smith Jr. So the Hart Foundation obviously kind of on the rise in MLW as they feud with the brothers Pentagon and Phoenix, who are the current champions. So MLW kind of seasons some talent there as well. Oh boy, who's ready for this main event on WrestleMania weekend? AIW has their top draw I haven't even heard. Have you heard of AIW before?
Yep.
Scott Steiner taking on Hornswoggle.
I got nothing.
Wow.
I'd rather watch somebody just turn on a sink and just let the water run.
That might make you smarter than watching that match.
Might make a lot of improvement in my life because that match sure ain't.
And for Christmas, The Rock, he made his mama happy.
You think?
The Rock bought his mama a house wherever she wants to live for Christmas. He called it the golden ticket.
Nice.
Any home she wants, anywhere she wants. So very cool stuff. I love the little video Rock posted on his Instagram of her opening the gift. That was really cool. Oh, a blast from our childhood past. One of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Jason David Frank. He was known as I don't know which Ranger he was.
Tommy, he was the Green and White Ranger and several other Rangers since then. He's been a mainstay with that franchise for the last 25 years.
He's going to jump in the pro wrestling world. He's going to make his debut later on this year for Laredo Wrestling in Texas, and he cites crossovers of CM Punk and Ronda Rousey giving him the idea to give it a try, and so he's going to get his shot in Texas.
I love it. I think it's brilliant.
So, Josh Barnett, I don't think this is the Josh Barnett that's writing for PW Insider now.
I don't think it is either. I think it's another Josh Barnett, just no relation.
He worked for USA Today and has joined the Pro Wrestling PW Insider team. Talked some interesting stuff about what the true culprit in the Raw ratings decline was. Matt, did you get a chance to read that at all from the other day?
No, I did not. I mean, I saw it, I skimmed it, but I didn't read it.
Yeah. And a lot of it is, 3 hours is a good part of it. Jimmy Jacobs said it best, writing a 3-hour show every week is fucking hard. That ain't
it's
the line.
It's really not that hard.
Yeah, I skimmed through it briefly.
I hate that.
It sounds like a damn headache. It sounds like a damn headache.
To me, the only reason the only reason it's hard to write wrestling in WWE is because of Vince.
Yeah.
Honest to God, you sit me in a room with a bunch of other creative people, or I mean, just let the three of us sit there. When you give us AEW's entire roster, and I guarantee you, we could book out a year of storylines for the entire company within a day. Yeah. It's not that hard to book pro wrestling intelligently. And the problem that people have when they go to WWE is they have to book for Vince. And that's not an easy thing to do.
Either he likes it or he doesn't like it. And you could have probably put your best work into it, and he just shuts that shit down.
Yeah.
Quick.
And Josh Barnett said some of the culprits of this this decline in ratings is that the creative, all the teams, everybody within the WWE may have been stretched too thin within the stretch of everything that happened in the fall. Hell in a Cell, Super Showdown, Evolution, Crown Jewel, Survivor Series, and TLC all happened within a 90-day period there, and so, or actually 5 shows, and he said 60 days, but I don't think that's not right. It's more like 90 days, but it's hard telling, but. Do you honestly feel that there's a change in the air with what Vince has promised us 2 weeks ago? Do you feel it 2 weeks later, or do you feel this is just, we got to make some people happy?
Yes, I'm blowing smoke up their ass a little bit just until they get comfortable again, and we'll feed them bullshit once again, in my opinion.
That's what I think too. I mean, I would love this to be legit, and I would love to be like them truly, saying that they're going to come out here and do some real changes. But I don't believe it. To me, what they did on Raw that night a couple weeks back was a bunch of lip service, and it talk is cheap. You got to show me with your actions, and it's going to be really interesting to see what they do this year, especially now that look, they're not the only game in town anymore. I mean, look, let's face it. At the end of the day, nobody can truly compete with the WWE on a national level. But competition in any form is a good thing and is a good driving indicator to make people improve themselves even when they don't want to. And I think the arrival of AEW onto the market in 2019 is going to force WWE to have to up their game. I don't think they're going to have a choice in the matter.
I think their problem is like once every 2 to 3 months they do something exciting or give us something exciting where we think that things are going to change, but they get complacent all over again. And I mean, honestly, they have so much talent, including NXT, they don't even know what to even do with all of them. Hence why you're creating a women's tag team division, why everybody's scrambling on 205 Live. And I love 205 Live, but I think they need a tag title. Because you have so much talent, and you're probably going to have people coming up from NXT as well. But I think they just have too much. I think they get too much of the talent just to make sure nobody else competes with them, and they have no idea what to do with them.
What do you make of the call-up of Mustafa Ali to the main roster and what they've done for him, which has been nothing short of amazing? I mean, tagging him with AJ Styles, having him pin Daniel Bryan, having him face Daniel Bryan. One-on-one?
I'm here for it. I'm glad that they gave him a chance. He deserves it. But like I said, man, it goes back to what I said earlier. You have so much talent in 205 now that you have so many people chasing after that one title. They were forced to do that.
Yeah. Marty Scurll is stuck with Ring of Honor for a few more months, and so they decided to put a faction together with him and PCO and Brody King called Villain Enterprises. They're going to make their debut for Ring of Honor at Concord, North Carolina, Sunday, January 13th. They will take on Silas Young and the Briscoes in a 6-man tag.
Wasn't a debut. They debuted it in Philly.
Just hasn't aired on TV yet.
Yeah, probably next week.
Pete Dunne is officially wrapping up his independent scene as his new deal is now exclusive to the WWE. Obviously, with the NXT UK brand taking off, the first takeover coming up pretty soon. They wanted to get Dunne locked up, one of their most recognizable superstars on that brand. Two guys have officially left Impact Wrestling. Former X Division champion Trevor Lee has confirmed he's a free agent, as well as DJ Z. Both of those guys have confirmed that they're gone from Impact Wrestling, and that's probably just only the beginning, isn't it, Matt?
Like I said, man, it's going to be an interesting year.
I think I know where Trevor Lee's going to go, though.
Oh, I know WWE has interest.
Yep.
Yeah, and
and
you know who from North Carolina is over there?
Yep, he got a couple of them from North Carolina over there.
Yep.
It'll come down to if AEW tries to get to him first.
True.
Yeah.
I'm not holding my breath on this, but James Storm takes on Nick Aldis for the NWA World Championship this Saturday in Clarksville, Tennessee. It'd be great to see James Storm be the NWA World Champion, but I'm not holding my breath.
And I continue to not give one flying fuck anything about what the NWA does as long as Magnus holds their title.
NWA National Champion Willie Mack will take on Matt Cross. Women's Champion Jazz will take on Allie. David Arquette and a mystery partner take on the Kingdom of Josephus in a hair versus hair match. And that is all this Saturday. WWE has released a lot more of the hidden gems in their vault section, including a match with Antonio Inoki from 1980 at Shea Stadium. Jerry Lawler, Greg Gagne match they tagged in a match, took on a couple of Japanese competitors in AWA in 88. WCW Power Hour from 1989, Sting versus the Great Muta. You can see Shinjiro Otani take on Dean Malenko from a worldwide event in 96. And NXT live event, Kota Ibushi, Bobby Roode. So it's pretty cool that they're putting some NXT live event matches in the hidden gem section. One more, NXT live event from the same show, October 30th, 2016. Then NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura took on Samoa Joe and Eric Young in a triple threat match. So those are all added onto the WWE Network right now. So very cool. Monday Night Raw this week, taking place, last Raw of 2018, Detroit, Michigan. We kick it off with a steel cage match between Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. This went about 20 minutes, and I thought the boys tore it down here in what probably should be the end of the feud. Do you agree, Matt?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was a great match. It was a good way to kick off the show.
What did you think of, Darryl, what did you think of, after McIntyre finally got the win, what did you think of McIntyre basically putting the exclamation? Well, first, what did you think about Ziggler still getting up and taunting Drew, and then Drew just beat the shit out of him some more?
Classic Dolph Ziggler show off. I want to be an asshole to the last bell. But I'm just happy that feud is over, so you can start pushing Drew again.
Yep. Yeah, I love the Claymore on with the chair in between him and the cage. That was pretty sweet. McIntyre's coming up with some unique ways to get that Claymore in, which is awesome. Did you hear the story? I think this was on Table for Three with three-man band. Did you ever hear the story of the Claymore kick?
No.
Drew was hurt, I think. It might have had a tight groin or a tight hamstring. It was supposed to be like a big boot type of deal, and that's how it ended up being such a short kick like that. That's how the Claymore kick was born. It was I don't know if it was due to injury or just circumstance where the guy wasn't placed right or something, but it was so weird he had to adjust himself to make that kind of kick, and that's how it was born. He's been using it ever since.
Oh, nice! I like how he's hitting. He's literally hitting out of nowhere now.
Yeah, he did it with. I don't think it was Ziggler. It might have been Balor. Like head against the LED board side of the ring there a couple weeks ago. He's putting some unique spots in with that Claymore kick. Drew then cut a promo talking about how he's going to win the Royal Rumble and fulfill his destiny to win the Universal Championship. Limousine pulls up. Shane McMahon, Triple H make their entrance as Shane does his dance around Triple H, and Triple H says, "What the fuck?"
I was crying the whole time.
That whole thing reminded me of when
Shawn and Triple H
were making fun of the McMahons. Yep. Shut up. Seth Rollins came out and talked about how he wants a rematch with Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship right here in Detroit Rock City. And an interesting face shows up to confront Seth. It's Triple H. Of course, they had a big feud once Triple H and after Triple H and Rollins were allies in the Authority. Pretty cool dynamic to see Triple H and Rollins back in the ring again, face to face. Rollins or Hunter said basically what was kind of said when the McMahons are taking over. Automatic rematch clauses are basically done. You got to earn your way back into it, which I like, because then you can still have someone earn their way back into it, have the rematch, and do it. Otherwise, you can just move on when you need to move on. So I'm very happy that they kind of did away with the automatic rematch clause, because I always thought a lot of times it was just a waste. So Hunter wants to see that Seth Rollins of a few years ago, the don't give a fuck Seth fucking Rollins, and the ruthless bastard. And Hunter told him to burn it down, and he's going to get a chance, but not against Ambrose tonight. It'll be Bobby Lashley. And Rollins said he'll take everything Lashley has to give. He'll take everything Dean Ambrose has to give. Then he'll take Brock Lesnar down if he gets in his way. And he also took a shot at part-time bitch earlier in the promo as well. Pretty cool segment, man. I kind of like the dynamic of putting those two back in the ring again in a different capacity. What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I liked that the automatic rematch clause thing is done away with. It's been a tired concept for way too long.
Yeah.
And it definitely helps freshen up the writing overall, that you don't have to be stuck in that pigeonhole of yeah, he lost the title, but we need to figure out a storyline rematch reason.
Exactly.
So I mean, yeah, it works out. That they can go in different directions now in title changes instead of just automatically the former champion gets the rematch.
Darryl, you think that it's still going to be Rollins is mentioning Lesnar a lot. You think this is where we're ending up at WrestleMania?
Yep. But does either of you see the irony in the way that Triple H was talking to Seth and Vince was hyping up AJ? Just a random thought.
Definitely similar.
Yeah.
At the same token, I still think they need to take the title off Brock at Rumble.
Oh God, they need to, but will they? They keep dicking around Strowman so much too. So I don't know.
I think they're in for a world of trouble if Brock steps in the octagon in March and gets destroyed and gets hurt and can't work Mania and he's holding their title at the time. To me, I just think it's too much of a risk, and they really should not be going in that direction.
Is it a lock that they're gonna? Is it a lock that Braun's gonna be okay to wrestle at Rumble?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay. The interesting thing.
I still think Seth should just take it off of him. As much as I love Braun and they've been dicking him around, I just still think Seth should just be the one to take it off of him at Mania.
I got such a wild idea. I mean, because I thought of Strowman. I mean, what if he's not ready to go at Rumble? I mean, what if Triple H puts Rollins in place of Strowman? Rollins defeats Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Triple H's boy against Vince's boy, just like Darryl just brought up the parallels. AJ Styles wins the Royal Rumble and takes on Seth Rollins for the Universal title. I mean, it's way out there, but it would be fucking cool if it happened.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
What are you guys seeing with this whole Vince AJ thing? It was so weird.
I don't know what to do with it yet.
He knocks out Vince.
To me, it was just a very weird way to reinsert Styles back into the WWE title picture. If it really ends up being anything more than that, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
I just think it's a waste of time if you're going to do it that way.
If Styles wins the title back in January, I guess it really wasn't a waste of time after all.
Yeah. Well,
it's really going to depend on if Bryan's going to win that. If Bryan's going to drop that title or not.
I mean, the Kevin Owens and Vince thing wasn't a long-term thing either. When Owens attacked him, it just led to him against Shane. So.
Yeah, but that was still a build-up for Mania, though. You know what I mean? I just think that I'm just like, okay, if you're going to do something that drastic, Vince doesn't get hit that often, and he doesn't let anybody just knock him out. So it has to be something ultimately at the end of the tunnel.
And then he had that big grin on his face when Jamie Noble was checking on him. It's like, what is going on here? This is just so.
Like,
it was
I don't
so
know where
weird
that's going.
because they placed it after the tag. What was it? No, what was it? The 5-way. They placed, or was it? No, it was Christmas Eve.
It was the last thing that happened on SmackDown that night.
Christmas Day. There was something.
Rusev.
Yeah, it was Rusev. Yeah, Rusev won the title, and all of a sudden we cut to AJ in the back with. It was such weird timing.
Yeah, I just think something's up with that. I'm not sure where it's going.
Yeah, to end the show like that and leave it, which was kind of cool. They left it on a cliffhanger like that. I mean, it's something new and fresh, which we need in the WWE. And, it was really interesting. So, as Triple H and Rollins are staring each other down, Shane McMahon gets into the ring and said, guys, cool it. We got to clear the ring and prepare for a fresh start battle royal. The winner will get a intercontinental title match against Dean Ambrose later on in the night on Monday Night Raw. First guy to come out was Finn Balor. Him and Triple H do a little too sweet. And Finn and Shane do a little fist bump. And we kick it off with everybody else in the ring after commercial. Baron Corbin, last one to enter in his TGI Fridays outfit. Hey, Zack Ryder. Welcome to Monday Night Raw for the first time this year. At least he said something and something happened. Maybe maybe some of it's on Zach. Shouldn't he maybe have done this earlier and said, hey, put me in somewhere?
Dude, he's gonna complain on Twitter all year. He hasn't been on TV.
Yeah, he has.
The only reason he's on TV now is because of AEW.
AEW.
Oh man,
They know how good of friends he is with Cody,
and how and how young Ryder still is, too. By the way.
Oh yeah, dude, he's got a long career ahead of him.
A lot of tag teams and jobbers in this thing. Mojo Rawley, No Way Jose, Lucha House Party, Titus O'Neil. Obviously, the guy that stand out in this one was the guy that wanted Apollo Crews, who eliminated 8 guys on his way to throwing out Corbin last to win the Battle Royal. I thought it was a kind of a fresh way to kind of transition and give us a match later on Raw. And Crews is a talented guy. I think he's still.
It didn't do anything for Crews.
No.
Because if they truly wanted to make this do something for Crews, they shouldn't have had the match the same night.
Yeah.
At least build the guy for a couple weeks. Maybe build him into a title match with Dean at the Rumble. Yeah, you won a Battle Royal, but then you lose an hour later. Who cares? They did Apollo no favors on Monday. Where they use him going forward in the new year remains to be seen. And maybe if he's lucky, maybe they actually, maybe they do use him from here on out. But, Yeah,
because there was shades a couple months ago, like he was going to turn heel and had some aggression. I can't remember who it was with, but maybe Seth Rollins. And then he kind of disappeared again. And it was definitely a good night for Apollo Crews, though. Yeah, like you said, just as long as the momentum keeps up, and this ain't the peak of what it is for Apollo. Dasha Fuentes interviewed Natalya about her whirlwind year, talking about Evolution, losing her dad, training with Ronda Rousey and such. She got a cheap attack from Nia Jax and Tamina, which, of course, will lead to a tag match later on in the show. That was the first hour we're on. That was a damn good first hour, wasn't it, guys?
Mm-hmm. It was solid.
Yeah. I mean, as far as Raw goes, it was great. As Raw has not been great. Baron Corbin still in the ring after losing the Battle Royal, whining that he didn't get a fair shake, and Elias appears on stage, and he was playing the New Year's song, and told the crowd that he's got a New Year's Rockin' Eve party going on, and Corbin is not invited because he doesn't invite losers to the party, which prompted a "You're a loser" chant from the crowd. Elias divulged that Baron Corbin talks shit about Detroit, and Elias got on the phone with his good buddy Kid Rock, because he's friends with everybody, and said, it's time to have some fun. He's got a song to sing, but then Corbin went up the ramp and started a little brawl with Elias, and it ended with Elias, kind of getting the better of Corbin. So I think we might be on the precipice of Elias maybe Elias being the guy that takes the Intercontinental title from Ambrose when it comes time to change titles. Maybe
he was supposed to win it earlier on in 2018, and they changed their minds. So yeah, maybe they give him a run this year at some point.
I'm here for it.
I've been an Elias supporter even in the NXT days, and to see,
you were the only one.
I was the only one. I was the only Baron Corbin supporter in the NXT days too. So, but
you should be ashamed of yourself.
But I mean, holy shit! I mean, look what this guy's done this year, man. It's amazing. And on top of that, he's improved in the ring. So, 6-women tag match. Riot Squad took on Sasha Bailey Ember.
Shit! Rebel wrestled at the NXT tapings tonight.
Really?
Uh huh.
Rebel from TNA.
That's cool. Yeah, Rebel from TNA.
Oh wow.
That's cool. Good for her.
I like
Yeah,
Rebel.
She's been working
working
really
heavily
hard the past few years.
Yeah, she has.
Speaking of somebody AEW should probably try to snap up, they should probably try to get her before WWE locks her into a deal.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's pretty cool. That's good for her. I always felt like WWE was overlooking her and all the improvements that I've seen her make over the last few years. So it's really cool to see that she worked the NXT tapings tonight.
She's been working very hard as of late.
Yeah, taking a lot of indie dates, wrestling all over the world. Much respect. Very cool.
And yeah, and she's not a spring chicken either. I mean, she's in her late 30s now, so.
Yep, she's almost 40.
And looks amazing still. So that'd be great to see. I can't wait to see that. Who's she taking on in the tapings? You don't need to spoil it, but
I didn't see. I just saw she retweeted a photo somebody took from her coming down the aisle tonight, and I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. I'm like, yeah, because I honestly had no idea. Like, I read the tapings and I didn't see her mentioned. Maybe they had her
different name
working under a different name. Yeah. So, but no, that's pretty cool. Good for her.
Next up was Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley. I kind of liked I liked Rush's promo here. It was he kind of mixed it up, which I think people on the mic don't do enough nowadays. And I think Leo Rush has done a great job as the hype man. He even does some physical stuff on Raw too. And so overall, I think he's doing a great job with being Bobby Lashley's hype man. I really enjoyed the promo they cut, and that led to the match. But
I think every time he's trying to run away from somebody trying to attack him, he's just trying to campaign for a role as Miles Morales for a live action Spider-Man movie with Marvel Studios at some point.
The shit that guy does.
Super athletic, yo.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Rollins, well, he had enough, and he had enough of everybody getting involved between Lashley and Rush, and so he just hit Lashley in the back of the chair to get the DQ, and then gave Leo a stomp that Leo sold like a champ. Next up is a handicap match. Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers taking on Heath Slater and Rhino. Of course, Rhino came back to the WWE. Well, he never left, but storyline-wise, he showed up as Santa Claus in a match on Christmas Eve, and so that was the reformation of Slater and Rhino. Pretty cool moment. I don't know why they had Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers beat Slater and Rhino here. I thought this was a good chance to maybe get a little momentum on those guys after they reformed, but
Whatever.
Next up was for the Intercontinental title, Dean Ambrose, Apollo Crews. I'll tell you what, though. I mean, Apollo did show well here. I think he had a lot of offense. It wasn't a complete job, especially considering...
No, I'm not saying it wasn't a complete job, but I mean, you didn't even give the audience enough time to start believing in the guy.
Yeah.
To make anybody think that, man, he might actually have a shot at winning this thing. I just think that kind of stuff just does not do your roster any favors. It's one thing if it was like Finn Balor that did it and then went on and lost because like people believe that Finn has a legitimate shot of winning, but nobody thought Apollo Crews was winning that title. Like there were more people that thought Tyler Breeze might beat Dean Ambrose the other week due to Seth Rollins' interference than people thought that Apollo Crews was going to win the title that night.
Yeah. We learned that Alexa Bliss is going to be the first woman in WWE history to host a talk show. Moment of Bliss will debut next week with Ronda Rousey as her first guest.
Ugh.
And that led to our main event, women's tag match, Ronda Rousey, Natalya, Tamina, Nia Jax. And, once Ronda Rousey came out on fire, and, man, she just keeps impressing me every week. She keeps impressing me with what she's doing in the WWE ring there.
She's incredible, man. She really is.
Rousey slapped the armbar on Tamina to get the win after I can't remember how long the match went, but that was how the night ended. They kind of hyped next week's Raw, which has Braun Strowman and Lesnar returning, Gable and Rude against the Revival for the tag titles, the Moment of Bliss talk show debut, and John Cena and his hair are back on Raw next week.
John Cena Layfield.
SmackDown Live this week. They were New Year's Day live from Pittsburgh, PA. We kick it off with the New Day because they're our holiday celebrators of the WWE. Big E dressed as the New Year's baby with a lot of baby oil.
I love New Day, but this segment was such a waste of time.
Yeah, I loved it when he got in Graves' face and put oil all over him. That was funny. They welcomed us to 2019. They told Big E to quit doing Steiner math.
I popped at that. I couldn't believe they said that. That was about the only good thing out of the entire segment.
They were talking about how the doctor said they shouldn't eat pancakes, and they're going to hand out lettuce, but Big E kept pulling pancakes out of every orifice and eating them. So that New Year's resolution was over with already. And they babbled on for a little longer before getting to the point that they all three are going to enter the Royal Rumble.
Can't wait to see who throws them out.
Jeff Hardy makes his entrance as the New Day dances to Hardy's entrance music. And there's going to be a fatal 5-way to determine who faces Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. I guess nobody else had to qualify, but Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy had to because their match ended in a no contest the week prior. So here we go. Jeff passing out to the Coquina Clutch after a pretty good 11-minute match there with Joe getting the victory. So Joe will join AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, Mustafa Ali, and Randy Orton in the fatal 5-way to main event SmackDown Live this week. Shane and Vince are in their chairs talking about the fatal 5-way when AJ shows up, and AJ asked, are you sure that you want to see me? After Styles knocked out Vince. Styles says he's not going to apologize because Vince provoked him, and Styles said if you want the real AJ Styles, watch what happens tonight. Unless you want to see the real AJ Styles now, and Shane and Vince stood up, and Vince backs off Shane, and there we go. And then Shane asks Vince, is this what you really want to see out of AJ Styles? And Vince says, absolutely. I'm with you, Darryl. I think there's more to this than meets the eye. But
I seriously think so. Like I said, I can't predict it, but my gut's telling me it's going to be more than what most folks think it is.
Rusev title celebration. This was odd. Whoever wrote this promo for Rusev, it was kind of dumb. I didn't like it. I think Rusev probably thought it was dumb too. He had a hard time getting through it sometimes. Talking about baking flavored cinnamon buns and it was poorly written.
I don't know. I thought it was funny. I thought Rusev made the most out of what he was given, and I thought he made it as entertaining as he possibly could.
That is true. Nakamura shows up and attacks him from behind. Lana jumps on Nakamura to break it up, and Rusev hit the Machka on Nakamura, but he landed right on top of Lana, and then as kind of stuns Rusev, Nakamura hits the Kinshasa. So that'll keep that feud going for a little while, though there's no automatic rematch clause, but obviously that's one way to get a rematch is to attack Rusev and make Rusev demand that he faces Nakamura. Of course, we talked about the old mistletoe with Naomi and Mandy Rose. That was a pretty interesting segment because you don't want to piss off Naomi. She's an angry woman, isn't she, Darryl?
Snatch your ball.
Snatch your ball. She took out Sonya Deville. It only lasted about 3 minutes, and you guys a little surprised Sonya went over Naomi here?
No, not for the storyline they're trying to build. It made perfect sense the way it played.
Yeah, that was about right.
How great was it that Mandy Rose was wearing an Uso shirt?
She looked good in that Uso shirt. That's the best that Uso shirt ever looked.
Since day one.
How'd you like her in a towel, Matt?
Good times, man.
Yeah,
it's nice to see her in a towel, but honestly, her wrestling gear is more revealing than the photo with the towel. So
that is correct.
That's all I have to say.
Her shorts are pretty short on the old wrestling gear. Yeah. So the distraction, Sonya Deville took advantage as Mandy got on the mic and said, "Hey, I sent Jimmy this," her in a towel, and so that's pretty cool. I kind of like what they're doing with this. Something different. Everybody gave their New Year's resolutions, which I just think are ridiculous. But I like the Iconics New Year's resolution of being the first women's tag team. That'd be cool. If it ain't Sasha and Bayley, it'd be cool if it's the Iconics. John Cena.
Look, if it's going to be a heel team, and they say me being a homer, but it's just the way they've been pushing her lately, I would say Mandy and Sonya have a better shot at taking those titles before the Iconics do.
Makes sense.
The way they're positioned right now, it's absolutely correct. John Cena, he makes his return and still has his weird hair.
That's his talk show host hair.
This is JBL hair.
He talked about how he bought a ticket to WrestleMania and probably had too many beers before taking on The Undertaker.
Beer.
One beer.
Beer.
Two beers.
What?
3 beers.
What?
He talked about Bumblebee.
Of course he did.
Because that's a movie that he's in right now.
I can't blame him for plugging it.
I
really can't.
Can't either.
I'm not gonna go see it.
I've heard it's the best. I've heard it's the best Transformers movie ever.
Really?
So yeah, that's what I've heard. The reviews have been very, very favorable.
So Cena says, "Oh, I expect somebody to come out here and call him part-time wannabe," and he's like, "Who's it going to be to challenge me this time?" And the man Becky Lynch comes out. How great was it when her music hit?
The man came around.
And she tells John Cena, how does it feel expecting a man come out, but instead you got the man? And she said in 2018 she wasn't aiming just to take over Charlotte on the posters and billboards. She was aiming for John Cena as well. And Lynch noted that Cena's been on every marquee for the last 16 years, and he personifies what the company is or was. And says it's time for somebody new to step up and fill that job, and that led to some Becky chants from the crowd. And Becky said, well, if you have a problem with that, well, Nikki Bella won't be the only woman to drop you this year. Ooh.
Booyah.
Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega show up and interrupt, which leads to the all too predictable tag match between the four. And decent little match. It was a lot of fun seeing those two guys work together. The best part was Cena looking for a handshake and Lynch doing the "you can't see me." That was great. The Miz showing Shane in his gear, that was a little awkward, wasn't it?
That was funny.
It was something.
I tell you what, though, the Miz TV the week before I thought was really good, where he finally convinced Shane to become a tag team. I thought that was a really cool segment. I really liked that.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, this was a little weird.
Like, I'm telling... Well, we don't really know where the whole AJ Styles Vince McMahon thing's going. I can tell you where this is going, and it's Miz versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And if you can't see this coming from a mile away, then you haven't been watching pro wrestling for very long.
Miz is the babyface, Shane is the heel.
No, I think Miz is going to eventually turn on Shane.
Oh.
Yep.
And it's going to be Shane's going to be the babyface, and Miz is going to be the heel.
And what Shane said last week, he goes, if you screw this up, there's going to be some major consequences.
Yeah, if he said if you screw me,
screw me,
like if you turn on me or whatever, like the seeds were already planted.
Pretty much.
Backstage, Triple H congratulating Asuka on becoming the women's champion. And
I saw a lot of people hating this segment. I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't think it was bad either. Asuka said she'll fight anybody because nobody's ready for Asuka. That's when Charlotte Flair shows up. And I swear that shirt was see-through. I swear I saw nipple. Carmella interrupts, and the man interrupt too, and so I think that obviously leads to a triple threat match coming up soon to determine who faces Asuka at the Rumble, right?
You would think.
I would think Charlotte wins that. Charlotte and Asuka at the Rumble.
And that's that. I've heard Charlotte's facing Ronda at the Rumble.
Yeah, I heard Charlotte's facing Ronda at Mania.
See, I have not heard that. I heard the plans are for Becky and
I hope
Ronda
you're right.
at Mania.
Well, or if they finally pull the trigger on Natalya.
I mean, I guess they could do the triple threat at Mania. I just don't think that's nearly as important as a one-on-one match.
No.
And if they do it as a triple threat, I don't know if it can close the show.
Yeah, but
like they so desperately want to do.
I think it's gonna be Charlotte and Asuka at the Rumble. Becky's gonna be in the Rumble and winning it. Carmella's gonna be nowhere near the title.
But then at that point, you never got your Charlotte Ronda payoff that they've set up at Survivor Series.
Yeah, I don't know why they aren't going that direction, but I don't think they are.
Well, they could this week when TV's live.
True.
I mean, you also need to keep in mind, if you remember a few weeks back on TV before they started doing the vacation episodes, Vince told both Vince told both Becky and Charlotte that if you had a problem with what Ronda did, take it up with her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Basically almost giving both of those women a green light to jump on Raw and attack her. So I would not be surprised if you see Charlotte show up on Raw on Monday and attack Ronda Rousey.
Well, I guess you could have Becky and Asuka later on in the show, but why would you have Becky lose?
I think Asuka will end up with a Carmella somehow.
And put her, because Carmella's bragged about beating her twice, so.
Yeah, Asuka finally gets the most deserved win over freaking Carmella.
Charlotte and Becky take each other out.
I think Becky wins the Rumble.
Yeah, I do too.
So I think Becky wins the Rumble, and it's Becky and Ronda at Mania. It makes all the sense in the world to me.
Then you have Carmella as 30 in the Royal Rumble, so why have her face Asuka at the Royal? I don't know. It's so weird.
Oh, that's a good point too.
It's so weird.
I don't know. I also I see Becky coming to the ring with Conor McGregor at WrestleMania.
Oh, that'd be so badass.
The man, the notorious one.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get him to wrestle or anything, but I think they could get him to accompany Becky to ringside.
Hell yeah.
Because he even tweeted at her a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he sure did.
Something to the reference of, let me know when you need real backup.
Yeah.
And there's not a better time to have backup than at the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania. And that's then right there, some of that mainstream attention that WWE loves to have so often. Conor McGregor ain't walking Charlotte to the ring at WrestleMania. So,
yeah, I don't know. Could you see the WWE completely forgetting about Charlotte getting her revenge on Ronda at this point? You could see creative.
I could, but I don't think they should.
They shouldn't, no. But if they do, I'm almost thinking they turn Natalya heel finally, and they fight her and Ronda fight at the Rumble.
Yeah, that's not happening. I already told you why that wasn't happening.
I know, but stranger things have happened. I mean, they turned Dean heel on the night they announced Roman had leukemia, so don't put it past Vince to turn Natalya heel to set up Rousey and Natalya at Royal Rumble. Fatal 5, way to close the show. AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe, Mustafa Ali. Went about 14 minutes. Good action. Loved it. Loved the dynamic with some of the bigger guys, and then you had littler guys like Ali and Mysterio in the match. And tell you what, man, Mustafa Ali looked like he belonged with 4 former world champions in the ring there, huh?
Yeah.
Obviously, Joe hasn't won the world championship in WWE, but he's held the title elsewhere. And of course, Mysterio.
And he's all NXT champion. That's a world to me. That's a world title as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So it's still a world title under the WWE umbrella.
So yeah, I mean, Mustafa Ali held his own with all four of those guys, and that was pretty cool to see. Even hit his little Spanish fly off the top with Mysterio. That was pretty cool. He went for the 054, but Joe moved, and then Ali hits the mat, and Joe puts on the Coquina clutch. Mysterio then hit a 619 on Joe to break all that up. Hit one on Ali as well. Orton comes in, hits an RKO on Ali, but Mysterio hits a leg drop to break up that pin. And Mysterio delivers another 619 to Orton. Joe grabs Mysterio, but Mysterio sent Joe into the barricade with a head scissors. And out of nowhere, AJ Styles gets back into the ring with a springboard 450 splash onto Randy Orton, pinning him for the win. So AJ Styles takes on Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. What did you guys think of that main event?
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a solid main event.
Yeah, it was really exciting. But interesting now, the real AJ Styles against the new Daniel Bryan, huh?
Yeah.
I guess that's how they're billing it.
We will see.
See what happens there. Daniel Bryan, we've said this on the show.
I wish they would just call him Daniel Bryan. Like, the new Daniel Bryan's already grinding on my nerves.
On your nerves.
Yeah.
My nerves.
Yeah, how much longer is he going to be new?
It is the dumb.
All right, literally hours from now, Wrestle Kingdom 13, Tokyo Dome. I mean, literally 2 or 3 hours from now, it's kicking off. 10 matches are listed on the card here. I think they still have their traditional Battle Royal in the pre-show too, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
That's not listed here, but they do have 10 matches listed. One is from the pre-show. I have not been following New Japan as much anymore, so I'll have to rely on you guys to make the picks here, though some of them are going to be very obvious. In the pre-show, it's a gauntlet match to determine the number one contender for the Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Championships. The most violent players, Maccabi and Toriano, along with Taguchi. They take on Nagata, Jeff Cobb, David Finlay. They take on Chaos, which is Hiroki Goto, Beretta, and Chucky T. Suzuki Goon, consisting of Lance Archer, Davey Boy Smith, and Suzuki. And the Elite, Hangman Page, Takahashi, and Marty Scurll. Who do you see comes out as the number one contender for the Never Openweight 6-man, Darryl?
I'm going to go with Chaos on this one. You can never tell with their storylines who's going to win a title, so it's just a random pick for me.
Yeah. You have any lean on this one, Matt?
Not at all. I like you have not been following New Japan much the last few months. Kind of really leaned off interest after I, started to see the writing on the wall, what was going on with the Elite. So have not put a lot of focus into the New Japan product as of late.
Who would you like to see, though, Matt? Who would you like to see win in the singles match for the Never Openweight Championship when Will Ospreay takes on Kota Ibushi? Do you see a title? Do you see a title change here? Do you see Ibushi retaining, or do you see Ibushi? Is he possibly jumping ship? Do you think he's with the Elite and going to lose?
I could definitely see Kota going where Omega goes, so I'd say title change.
Darryl, you feel the same way?
Yes, sir.
There's a three-way dance for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Your champions Suzuki Gun, Kanemaru, and Desperado take on Roppongi 3K and Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, and Takagi. Who do you think wins this one, Darryl?
I'm going to say LIJ with Bushi and Takagi.
Okay. Anything on this one, Matt?
Nope.
Nope.
These multi-man matches, don't even ask me. I don't have an opinion. If it's a singles match or a tag match, I'll give my opinion. But these multi-man clusterfucks, I got nothing for you.
Clusterfucks.
Maybe that's what they should call it in AEW. This is a multi-man clusterfuck. No. What is a British Heavyweight Championship? What is this, by the way?
I think that's the Rev Pro title with that Zack Sabre Jr. owns.
Okay, actually, Ishii owns it now, and he's taking on Zack Sabre Jr.
He did? Oh, I don't know. I try to keep up.
See, none of us are following New Japan super closely.
Yeah, well, we'll move on to the next. This is a three-way tag team match for the IWGP Tag Team Championships. The Young Bucks and LIJ, Sonata, and Evil are going to take on the Guerrillas of Destiny. Guerrillas of Destiny are the title holders. Do you see a title change here, Darryl? I'm kind of thinking no.
It's a possibility. I'm going to say yeah.
Well, it ain't going to be the Bucks, so...
Because I can honestly see LIJ taking it off of them. Like I said, you never know where New Japan is going. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Evil and Sonata won, but...
I feel there's been way too much storyline development with Good Guy Tama Tonga this week.
Yeah.
Even as somebody who isn't following New Japan closely, I've seen a bunch of talk about that storyline. With that much focus on Tama Tonga going into the show this weekend, I can't see him dropping the titles.
Makes sense.
Well, we know how this is going down, but Cody against Juice Robinson for the IWGP US title. How cool is it going to see Juice Robinson holding gold in New Japan?
For a second time.
Yeah, for a second time.
It'll be like looking in the mirror.
That's true. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, Kushida takes on Ishimori. What do you see here, Darryl?
I can see Ishimori taking it off of him. Have Bullet Club hold most of the titles.
You feel that way too, Matt?
I don't know how much stock New Japan's going to put in Bullet Club as a whole going forward, but but maybe if they're going to try to push the idea that this stable isn't as dead as everybody else views it to be,
right.
maybe so.
Bullet Club is fine.
Bullet Club is anything but fine right now.
Do they actually put Jay White over Kazuchika Okada, Darryl?
God, I hope not.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
As much as I hate seeing Okada win all the time, I hate seeing Jay White win more, so I'd rather Okada win.
I've actually liked Okada ever since he lost the title. He's been like real chill.
Yeah.
Like not a stick up his ass. None of that. He's just like
all the more reason I want to see him win that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I wanted with you. You know me better. Like I can't stand Jay White, but I just think
Okada doesn't lose at Wrestle Kingdom very often.
Only reason I say that
and
Jay
he
White
lost
does.
there, and he lost there last year, didn't he?
No. He lost at Dominion to Kenny.
Who did he face at Wrestle Kingdom last year then?
I want to say.
Give me a second. I got it.
I want to.
Kenny fought Jericho. Oh, it was Naito, wasn't it?
Naito, yeah.
He won. He won.
Yeah.
I think he still wins. I think Okada always wins at Wrestle Kingdom.
I think Jay White wins because you gotta have somebody that's.
Makes the Bullet Club legit.
Yeah, but then also you got to put somebody put a heel in the title picture that's going to go against the quote unquote face.
Yeah,
Tanahashi. I think they're pushing Jay White to win the title eventually.
Oh God!
With what we know with Chris,
I think I want to go puke.
With what we know from Chris Jericho, is it obvious that Naito is taking the title from him?
Yep.
IWGP.
Yeah, he's AEW bound.
IWGP Intercontinental Championship there. We all know who's going to win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship between Kenny Omega and Hiroshi Tanahashi. How many minutes is it going to get? We'll just give you that.
Is a 60-minute time limit?
Don't know.
I would assume it is. I think it'll go in the 40s somewhere.
Yeah, it'll go 45 or so.
It'll be good. We just know what's going to happen. Basically, how that all wraps up.
Yeah, like compared to last year when I was so hyped about Wrestle Kingdom, I feel no hype at all for this year's Wrestle Kingdom show, at all.
I just look forward, like I said, I'm looking forward to Ishii and Zack Sabre, and then I'm a big Naito mark, so yeah. And they changed that match into a no DQ.
Yep.
Do they show the matches in its entirety when they piece them out on Access?
That I don't know.
Access will show this really.
You might miss a little bit, like during the quote-unquote commercial break or whatever. But you see mainly the entire match. You see what's important.
I might hold up.
And apparently, I think they're aren't they airing like all of Wrestle Kingdom on like Friday evening or something on Access or something this week?
I thought they were. Yeah.
I'll have to check my DVR then, and set that up. But
I'm just gonna watch it tomorrow night.
I'll go look right now. So I have New Japan set to record on my DVR. So let me see what I have scheduled to record tomorrow. Wrestle Kingdom 13. It is scheduled to go from 8 to 10 tomorrow on Access. So
that's going to be so condensed. They're not going to show any of the
you're only getting you're only getting a couple matches. Let me see if I can get info and see who it says. See if it tells me what the matches are. No, all it says Kenny Omega defends the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Is all it says. It's a 2-hour block. So
they're probably showing Jericho, Naito, and Omega Tanahashi, and then they'll show the rest of it in the upcoming weeks, probably.
Probably.
Huh.
I could have sworn they said they were going to air more than that. Like a 2-hour thing just doesn't really cut it for me. I'm skipping ahead. I'm running through my box right now. Just actually go into the channel to see if they have something else at like 10 o'clock.
Remember when we were talking about Rebel? We were surprised WWE didn't pick her up. Yeah, that same tweet that you saw, she was at Full Sail. That was Full Sail.
Yeah, that's what I said. She was at NXT tonight.
Oh, I thought you said TNA. I'm sorry.
No, fuck TNA.
Yeah, slap next time you see me.
I'm not going to do that. Actually, no. If you're gonna go look at this, no. Wrestle Kingdom 13 is scheduled to air from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. on Access tomorrow night. It's just cut up into different blocks, and my DVR isn't scheduled to record all of it because that's fucking annoying. So yeah, from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. Wrestle Kingdom on Access tomorrow night, and that's probably where I'll just tune in and watch that. I'm not going on my way to watch it tonight.
Well, I got to work tomorrow, so I sure as hell.
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow, but I'm not staying up. Sorry.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Lost to the Midcard. Thank you to everyone for being with us here as we approach our 5-year anniversary. Looking forward to a crazy 2019, and thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Just search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way every Wednesday, outside of the special one that was on the old holidays. But you can also subscribe to us on the YouTube, and the links to all that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast, where you can also check out all the great tweets from the wrestling world that we share. Darryl's on the Twitter at No One Like D. Matt is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. And before we ride off into that sunset, get ready for 2019. Let's get some final thoughts, guys. Darryl first.
AEW is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to the journey that the Bucks and Cody are going to take to change the wrestling world. And for you, JB, specifically this weekend, fly, Eagles, fly.
Bears, Eagles, baby. It's going to be fun. Matt, what are your final thoughts?
That AEW will continue to dominate the wrestling headlines in 2019. And I hope all of our listeners are as interested in it as we are, because we're going to be talking a lot of All Elite Wrestling in 2019.
It was no surprise that we started to bring Being the Elite into the fold as a weekly thing, and it's how we're excited for that product and the potential and what they've done. And now they're creating on their own and taking a big risk, but it's gonna be fun to see where it all comes out in the end. Tune in for our next show, which is going to happen on Wednesday, just 5 days from now, on January 9th. That's going to be the day after the big rally for AEW at the Jaguars Stadium in Jacksonville. So we will give you the latest, along with our takes on anything we may have learned, because I'm sure there's some tricks up the sleeve for that show on Tuesday afternoon. But you can catch it yourselves as well if you're able to. 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. You can do it on Being the Elite's YouTube channel. You can do it on the Young Bucks Twitter. You could do it on, or actually, Young Bucks Facebook page. Brandy Rhodes' Twitter. There's many avenues that you can watch that live this coming Tuesday. For Darryl, for Matt, this is Jeremy. Thank you for tuning in to Lost the Midcard, and we will see you next week.